Alright, so here's what we're going to be working on in this video. This is an antique, probably by the looks of it I think it's antique. I was told it was a DR chipper, but I was looking closer at it. It's actually called the Whipper. Made by Bachtold Bros. Doesn't run, I just got it for free. We're going to go ahead and fix it up and hopefully use it around our property when the snow melts. Doesn't have the original engine. This is a Honda clone. It says powertrain on it. They used to make generators. They're out of business now though. It doesn't have the recoil, as you can see there. So let's see if we can get this thing running again. I don't know what this stuff does. Looks like it's in pretty rough shape. I like these little chains that somebody just fashioned on here. Anyway, let's go ahead and fix it up, try to get it running. The engine looks in pretty good shape. The top of the gas tank has some weird film on it. It's a little rusty on the exhaust cover, but otherwise it looks pretty good. So the first thing to do always, I guess, or what I always do, is check the oil, because I would not want to start this up if it has bad oil or no oil in it. This has got the older style of dipstick where you just fill to the threads. So here's the oil that came out of it, and I actually know that this oil is good because I talked to the person about it, and you can also see that it's very clear still. But I talked to the person about it and he had already replaced the oil, he just couldn't get it running. Alright, I got the dipstick back in, or the oil cap, whatever you want to call it. It's in a pretty bad position, sandwiched in between the belt housing and the engine. But there we go. Now let's see if this engine's good. Alright, so I'm going to test whether this engine needs its carb cleaned or what. I assume it's just a carb clean. That's usually what it is on these machines. So the way we can tell that, I'm sure you already know this, but just spray some starter fluid down into the carburetor. And then see if it starts up on this or not. Let's see, which way does the engine spin? I think the engine spins this way, probably. Be my guess. Who knows? Let's see, what's choke? I think this is choke. Alright, so the engine runs. We have spark, that means, and we got compression. And I actually just remembered I got this handy dandy compression tester. So we're going to test the compression on this engine. Alright, let's yank the spark plug out. It is. Doesn't look too great, but I'll clean it up on the wire brush and it'll be fine. Here we go. Oops. You guys can't see that. There you go. Alright, that is not so good. Below 90 compression, no, I mean 90 psi. See that? It's right below 90 psi, so that would be 50, 70, 80. That's 80 psi right there. Alright, I'm going to try that one more time, just a little bit faster. Wow, what a difference speed makes. This time it was 120 psi's. So I'm going to say that this engine has between 80 and 120 psi. It plugs back in. Let's get the carb off. Hopefully this engine's not all in metric, since I believe it is a Chinese model. Oh yeah, I think that's metrics there. Ah, crap. There we go. Alright, this carb, if it's an actual Honda clone, should just slide right off of here. Gotta take the fuel line off of here first. Of course. Plug that. Yeah. That was not smart of me. Forgot that I had gas in this thing. Alright, that was me just being forgetful. I thought I had drained the tank, but I didn't, and I didn't have any locking pliers near. So now we will take it off and lock it shut. Alright, I've got my locking pliers on there, as you can see. The carburetor won't slide off of the two bolts because the what's it called? The linkages are in the way. So I'm going to take off the bolts instead. Here's one of them. There we go. Alright, there you go. The messiest workbench you'll ever see. Alright, let's go ahead and take this guy apart. I let the gas spill in my little gas drain container, not in on top of the desk. Alright. If you want to see that container, it's just right down there. Alright, I think you saw that. Now this is actually not a jet. This is just a nut. The main jet is inside of the carburetor. Just a little bit of buildup in there. And you can see if you look really closely. See that stuff right there? That's no good. And if we take a look at the needle on here, it looks in very good shape. So there's nothing I really need to do about that. I'm just going to leave it on here, set it aside. Alright, we'll get the main jet out of here. So here's the main jet. You guys can see that. I'm going to clear this out because this is plugged. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but this is plugged, so that's our issue. I will clear this out and then we'll go ahead and see if the mower fires up. Alright, we'll go blow this out with compressed air as well. Alright, let's fire up the Husky. Here's the second messiest workbench you'll ever see in your life. Alright, let's clear this out. Alright, now if you look through it, I think, can you guys see the hole through there? Can you see the daylight through the other side now? Hello? Not plugged anymore, so hopefully this was the issue. If not, we'll break out the emulsion tube. Alright, now we'll put the bowl back on, and I believe that the higher side goes to the choke, but don't quote me on that. I could look it up, but I would have to go inside. So I'm just going to do it the way I think it is. Alright, we lost some daylight, if you can tell. But let's put the carb back in. Alright, it's in. Third try's a charm. Took me 3 tries, but it's all together. See if it starts up. Alright, I just threw the air filter box back on it. We'll see if it starts up. There we go. It's a little smoky. I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't know if you guys can see the smoke. Runs well. Alright, so the self-propulsion works, I'll show you that. Tested it coming out of the garage. However, it only drives one wheel. As you can see, it doesn't drive this wheel. I'm going to engage the blades to see if those work. So works now. Like I said, I'll just paint it, use it over the summer, and then put it up for sale probably. Thanks for watching this one, I guess, guys.